It's like hear that and I want to go boom 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 ba-da-dum, boom. So happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Boom 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 boom. Put a club Nikki's magic over here. Uh, so I remember having a good start to their week. I have not been on stream for. Oh, I was like, what is that? That's the music in the background. I hope that you guys are having a good week. I have not been on stream for a couple weeks. I will explain that in just a hot second. But yeah, I'm excited to talk about my trip. Before I get into that, I want to say thank you to everyone that sent me very kind messages for my birthday. I really appreciate it. You guys are very, very, very nice. And I did have a couple pieces of mail that I had gotten from people, and I just know that these people have sent them a long time ago, so I'm very, very sorry. I'm very sorry. So please don't be mad at me. Next week, I'm hoping that I can. I know Tim sent me something too, so I'm really hoping that I can grab that stuff and then open more things next week, because I was just gonna do a mail stream next week. Some pieces of mail you haven't gotten. I know. I'm sorry. But thank you to anyone that sent me something in the mail. I really appreciate it. And to everyone who wished me happy birthday, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I feel no different than I did last week. So that's age for you, I guess. Hi, Arjons. Hi, Richard. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to get into saying hi to the chat. Oh, man, I don't even have my dad jokes with me tonight. Oh, man, I'll have to tell you guys one dad joke. It's not even a dad joke. Maybe it is. Oh, man, I feel so unprepared now. I missed so many weeks, and I didn't even think about my dad jokes. I'm sorry, guys. I let you guys down, but I do have one joke. Megan, no. Megan's now 17. Let's not push my age, please. Although I have started to notice, maybe it's because I'm smiling, that I do have little, oh geez, Chris, thank you. I do want to say too, for my people that were wondering what happened to our October paint month and our paint night, I think we're going to do it this Friday. So I'm sorry. I've been so busy. But I've started to notice I have little lines near my face, and I'm like, I'm not even that old. Not even that old. But I am getting a little bit older. So I will say I am above the age of 14 now, so don't worry about it. I cannot legally buy drinks. No, I'm just in a different part of my house. Lines, stop it. Yes, I do have lines on my face. And if anyone, I know a lot of people probably saw it. I don't. Hey, Nicole, you guys are so nice for doing that. Meg can legally date now. That's a whole other story. I will get into saying hi to the chat. But I will say, I don't think a lot of people know that I can play the guitar. So that's something that I kind of do. And I've been trying to pick it up again more. I got my first guitar when I turned 16. Sorry, I'm only 14 now. I've had my guitar for a while. And so I started playing around when I was 16. I'm not a great guitar player, but I threw on some guitar on my Instagram page. So if you guys want to check that out too, it's a great song by this artist called Mahali. Time for us to do an album. Ha! I am not. I get very nervous singing. I don't sing in front of anyone. And so that was a big deal for me to post that. But I said, going into my next year of life, I'm going to stop caring as much about what other people think. So I tried very, very hard to just say, screw it, I'm just going to post this. Because the song is all about appreciating like where you are in life, and about how like even though we might have like lines or wrinkles, like it's literally our journey in life, right? Like it says was it, I know these lines on my face feel new, but I've been carving them my whole life through. And I just love that line. Because like it just kind of happens one day. You just get older. And I know that I'm like the youngest person in this community. I'm not actually, but I am one of the younger people in the community. So I appreciate everyone and their birthday wishes. But let me say hi to everyone in the chat. Mandy, hello. Pickalatrusky. Can I also say, just because I see her here, Christine sent me like the most generous PayPal while I was in Disney, and I really, really appreciate it. I definitely went towards, I had a lot of people asking me like what I bought in Disney. And so if you kept up with some of what I was talking about, like on Instagram and such, I ended up buying a lightsaber. So I'll have to post videos and stuff with that. I'm like getting really excited to do some new transitions on my TikTok. But yeah, I ended up buying a lightsaber. So Christine, thank you so much for that. That was so kind. I really appreciate it. Verna, hello. Welcome. Tim, I'm still mad at you for yesterday. Your Red Wings beat my Rangers. Get out of here. Boop, 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 boop. Wendy B, hello. Hi, Wendy. Sebastian the Crab. Hi, Jeanette. Welcome. Hi, Noah. Hi, Emily. Welcome. Kate, it's Meg's Magical Kitchen. Yeah, sure. The magic does happen here sometimes. It does. Chris, Dad Build. Woo woo. Oh, I was on stream in the. Oh, I guess with Jeff on the stream with Jeff. Poppy, hello. That's a nice name. Marshmallow Man. Hi, Marshmallow Man. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're keeping the Ghostbusters busy. Movie Mania Nick. Hi, Nick. Let me keep going down. Boop, 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 boop. Zanlax. Hello. Oh, thanks. Steve is pretty cool too. Steve streams on Monday nights as well. Boop, 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 boop. Don't mind me as I make little booping noises as I like scroll down in the chat. Hello. Look at all the lines. I know. It's actually way more. Okay, you guys probably call it like zoom in on my Instagram pictures or something. I sometimes do that to people. You could probably see that I have some little lines underneath my eyes. Alyssa and Neil, hello. Hi, Nicole. Hold on, I'm scrolling down. Arjan's Team Snag and Whiskers. Playing the guitar, you will be catfishing in no time. See, no, I've been fishing once and I was not good. I was not good. That is an amazing idea for a New Year goal. We could all do that. Wrinkles. I say I've earned every wrinkle in gray hair. Yeah, and in the song too, it says, it feels cold and I feel old, and all these gray hairs warm up my soul. And it like, like you guys could see my roots, but I did find a gray hair. And so I will be absolutely dyeing my hair very soon. It's no fun. Oh, Chris, stop. No, Chris, thank you so much for that very kind $5 super chat. You don't have to do anything like that. You're already too kind to me. It's Always Sunny. You guys were so sweet. They like literally like sent me an entire video of them saying happy birthday. So sweet. So Brandon and Heidi, you guys are the best. Thank you. Hold on. Oh, there's Marshmallow Man again. Hi, Marshmallow Man. Ninja mode while I drive safe, Jeanette. Okay. Boo, boo, boo. No, Tim, you get off the train. Get off the train. Thank you, though. Hey, Karina, welcome. I was talking about my abundant crop of gray. Yeah. Well, no, you guys mostly see red hair, obviously. I'm like, I mostly, I will never let my hair grow gray. I will always like to dye my hair. I want to be one of those like cool grandmas that have like purple hair. And it's funny because, so I went to work on Monday last week when it was Halloween. And this year I had 3 costumes for Halloween. Is Meg doing a cooking stream? I am actually. Yeah, I'm going to start shopping. To be fair, I was eating a cupcake like right before this. My brother's girlfriend got me some vegan cupcakes, and so I've been like slowly eating them. But last week for Halloween, when I went to work, I dressed up like Bob Ross, and everyone was like, "That's not you. That's not Megan. You have red hair." Megan has red hair. Oh, geez, Debbie. Thank you so much. You guys don't have to do that. You're so kind. But please, you don't have to do that. I really appreciate it though. Please don't feel obligated to like ever send me anything, to ever like send a super chat. Like just being here and hanging out with me is like the best gift ever. And I was very lucky, obviously, like I got to go to Disney right before my birthday. And that was a really amazing trip, which is what the stream is supposed to be about. Hey, Sam. I also saw Joy in there. Hi, Joy. Joy's birthday is on Wednesday, right? It's on Wednesday. So happy almost birthday, Joy. Hey, Karen, welcome. Yeah, so I was very lucky. I got to go to Disney just a little bit ago. I really miss it already. But I'm in ninja mode. Well, it's supposed to be anyway. You guys can hear the grandfather clock. That's okay too. Anyway, we ended up going very late on a Friday. And so we ended up starting on Saturday. And that's when I met up with everyone that I saw on that stream. So if you saw me on Jeff's stream, that was my first day in the park. Because I had gotten in like probably around like 11:45-ish at night. So I was like, obviously not going to go to the park. And so that Saturday, I got to meet up with Chris and Sparks and Jeff and Steve and VP and Arlene, and who else was there? And Nate ended up being there. And so we had a big group of people. That was the first day that I rode Guardians of the Galaxy. That was a really interesting ride. I got really excited about that. We get to go back in a few months. Training time to begin shortly. No. Training time should be now. Yeah, I will be back in a couple of months. Geez. I am not prepared for that trip. My niece and nephew got me mini Jack and Sally snow globes as a Halloween present. That's so sweet, Jillian. That's like so exciting. Can't decide if I like Halloween or Christmas better at Magic Kingdom. That's really awesome. I love Halloween a little bit better. Halloween has always been my favorite holiday. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I won't get too much into Halloween. Nice. Hashim, you are. Thank you. I'll get a little bit into talking about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Obviously, the Halloween party is over, but the trend, I have been to the Halloween party, I think 7 years now. So I have a pretty good grasp on how to handle the party. So we got a lot done. And that was very exciting. Chris, stop that. Thank you, though. I really appreciate it. Please stop sending money. You're the best, though. Thank you. Justin said, how was the music on Guardians? So the song I really wanted was September. I see Kate's question too. So I will get to that. And I see Wendy's question as well. I ended up riding the ride twice. The first time I was like freaking out because, as a lot of you guys know, I have like pretty bad motion sickness. I have a lot of issues with vertigo and my vestibular system and my migraines. And so it's always definitely a risk for me trying a new ride. I really wanted to go on it though, because it's a new ride and I love music. Music is such a huge part of my life, and getting to combine a Disney attraction, Marvel, and music, I was like, what is this? The song I really wanted was September. Hey, Dean, welcome. I really wanted September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Did not get that one. So I might have to go on it again. Sweet Joy, I'm so excited. I hope that there's going to be a lot of people there. Just because I mentioned it, I will be back for marathon weekend, just because I'm doing Dopey. So this past weekend was the Wine and Dine. Obviously, I didn't run for Wine and Dine, but I did last year. So congratulations to all the runners that finished this year, and also to anyone that did New York City. The New York City Marathon was also this past weekend. It was yesterday. Oh my gosh, this week has been so long. Yeah, my brain injury makes my vestibular unpredictable as well. Yeah, so anyone that has, I feel like I'm going back and forth between like a lot of different things. I will be there for in January for marathon weekend. Second, I end up getting Everybody Wants to Rule the World. And I also got Conga. Those were the two songs that I got. I'm so happy I got different songs. Thanks, Chris. Oh, congratulations, Verna. That's awesome. Sam's doing the 5, 10, and half in January. Sweet. I know a couple of people that are doing some of the races. I'm really excited. I keep getting distracted. Someone remind me to go back to the Guardians of the Galaxy because I want to give like a PSA to anyone that has vestibular system issues or gets motion sickness or whatever. But I'm very excited for this year in particular to do the races because I'm going to have someone doing a race with me every race. So I know someone doing the 5K with me, someone doing the 10K with me. There's several people doing the half with me, which I'm very excited about. And then, yeah, Sean's going to do the full. So Sean and I have already we've been chatting about training for months. Sean is like a way better runner than I am. So Sean, I don't know if you're listening, but you're definitely, so technically you're dropping Mickey's magic. So Sean is definitely going to have to like drag me to finish. But I did get in 45 minutes today. So I was pretty proud of myself. Already told Sean that though. He like tries to keep me accountable. So I'm definitely not where I should be in my training, but I'm gonna hope for the best. I'm not just gonna like show up and not have any miles done, but hoping for the best. So anyway, let me go back to Guardians of the Galaxy, and if you guys want to talk more, Run Disney Weekend after, because I also want to talk about the Halloween party. But Guardians of the Galaxy, I was very nervous to ride this ride because I had heard, oh, Karen's doing the 5K too. Sweet. Yeah. So if you guys are doing any of the races, like at all, any of them, send me a message. I would love, can you drag me over for the half too? Sean's not doing the half though. So if you are doing any of the races, let me know. I'd love, because I'm going to be in all of them. Like I'd love to either try and find you in the corral or before the race or whatever. Just let me know because I would love to see everyone. But I was very nervous about this ride because a lot of people had said they had gotten sick on it. And that I don't know, that it really was not good or it was great. So I want to do races this year, but I'm not where I should be. I have to make the promise to myself that I will try to do it next year, if not the following year. Yeah, there's no rush to do them either. Whenever you guys feel ready, I will say the 5K is the most beginner friendly. So if you are trying to do any Run Disney race, you should definitely try to do the 5K. There's no specific, they say that you should keep up with 16-minute miles for the 5K, but they don't have anyone sweep you from the course. So if you are willing to try to walk 3.1 miles, you don't even have to run it. You could just walk. That's definitely going to be your best bet to do any of the races. Back to Guardians. I had talked to a cast member before. I was like interviewing everyone I knew that went on this ride. And I was like, what is the best one to go in? What lane should I go in so that I'm the least sick? And so after talking to a cast member, yes, the 5K is definitely the hardest to get a bib for because of that reason, because it is the most beginner friendly and not a lot of people want to do longer distances. Anyone that's doing Run Disney in general is very beginner friendly because they have a 16-minute mile cutoff. A lot of races have like a 13-minute cutoff, or even shorter. I know some of my local races are like 12 and a half minutes or 13 minutes. And if you're going to be longer than 13 minutes, they allow you to start a half hour earlier. But that's just really not stay on target. I know. I have to go back. People are distracting me with Run Disney and I'm like, ooh, squirrel. So yeah, the 5K is definitely the hardest to get a bib for. So they do become available still. Like I still get reminders. The thing to recommend the most is sign up for the Run Disney updates. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but some account posts when it's not through specifically Run Disney, but it's another account that will post when any of the races become available. And I have the notifications turned on for that, so I get alerted, because there are some people that I know that are still trying to get into the races. And that's actually how Tim ended up getting into the races too, because I saw that they became available, and I was like, Tim, you better sign up like right now. So if I've posted in the Discord or something, usually they're gone within a couple minutes, unfortunately. I would like to try to do the Disney Princess 5K. I'm a runner. Does Disney World have a Nightmare Before Christmas one too? I wish. This stream has been exactly how my brain works 24/7. Well, if this is any indication, this is how my brain works all the time. I go boom, 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 boom. Okay, back to Guardians. Let me just get this out, and then we could talk about Run Disney after, or like literally any part of my trip. But when I asked the cast member, she said to go in the rows 5 or 6. It's like literally right in the middle of the train, of the like coaster. So I don't know what it's like to ride in any other lane besides 5. Look, Gardens. Yeah, so I asked specifically to be in 5 or 6. Chris actually wrote it with me too. So Chris, you could put input in as well. I think Chris heard me screaming the entire time. I will say the cast member also said to keep your head straight. I know a lot of people were saying that they looked around a lot. There's screens, which is also very confusing. The car itself that you're in will rotate. It spins. That's very confusing. I will say too that the first time, because I didn't know what was going on and I was very confused, I didn't know where to look. I kept my head really, really still. I was very, I did not feel well after at all. I think mine passed. I wear motion sickness bands on a lot of the rides, and I also took my medication. So I think that definitely helped. I have specific nausea medicine, or bring ginger with you or something that might help. If you get nauseous or motion sick from any rides, definitely bring that with you. I will say too that my second ride, because I was I feel like I really need to give it another chance. I think I felt better on the second time because I knew what to expect. I let my body loosen just a little bit, where I was probably letting my head move a little bit more, but I wasn't turning my head around. So if you're willing to take the chance of potentially bring a ginger with you. Why? To hold your puke bag. Yeah, exactly. If you're willing to give it a shot, if you're really feeling like you want to gamble it, and take a risk, ride it, ask for 5 or 6, in the middle of the car. I see Wendy said, yep, 5 or 6. We rode that last and first a whole different thing altogether. Crazy. Wow. I didn't know that. So Kate, I would definitely say tread lightly, proceed with caution. Many of you guys know that I had a head injury. It's pretty disorienting, to be honest, and it might throw you off for the rest of the day. So that's obviously a thing that might happen. You might also feel fine. There are certain parts of the ride that I definitely felt it more than other parts. But if I could give advice, is probably go in the middle car, 5 or 6 that seemed to be okay. I wore my motion sickness bands. I was prepared going into it, knowing that I'd probably be sick afterwards. And then, maybe do it at the end of the day. Once again, it's still kind of risky. If you're like me, I'll still wake up feeling that way. So don't let it ruin your entire park day, I guess. If you're able to pick a time, I wasn't able to because I got 2 virtual queues. I didn't pay for it. So the front row, crazy. Oh, wow. felt way different to me. I never have issues, but I was dizzy at the front row. Oh, interesting. Yeah. So I did hear to not go in the front row, basically. Like, don't, don't go in the front row, I guess. Hey, Jeff, welcome, Jeff and Angela. And I did wear for Jeff, I did wear my motion sickness pants. So that was good. My motion sickness socks did not help, but the pants did. So anyway, yeah, if you guys have any other questions, I feel like, I want to keep writing it to get the songs, but it's intense. It's an intense ride from the spinning. And there's like a circle that goes down and you're kind of rotating. I also heard that the music changes sort of the motion of the car as well. So I don't know if Conga was a better song to listen to. But there's a part towards the end where you're like spiraling around a moon. And that's the part that made me feel most sick, because the car was turning, but you were also rotating like the spiral is one of my favorite parts. That was the part that I hated the most. I was like, I liked going backwards. But everything else, like with the spiral, I was like, please leave me alone. Like, I don't like this. It doesn't rotate fast though. It's a very smooth roller coaster. If it didn't have as much rotation, I would be so down to do it again. As I've gotten a little bit older, you guys know in my old age now, I have had a really hard time being on roller coasters. So I'm probably not the best person to ask. I think like it's realistic though, because there are people that do get sick, or people that don't do as well on roller coasters, and I'm certainly one of them. I really can't ride Space Mountain anymore. I can't ride Expedition Everest anymore because it goes in my old age now. Yeah, right. I mean, I am old. I have lines on my face now. No, I actually think I'm very young. I don't feel any different than I did when I was 18. So I feel more like myself. I feel more authentic than I did when I was 18. Obviously, I was a teenager, so we should ride it together, then lean on each other as we walk out. I feel like that sounds like a really bad idea. So neither one of us can fall over. So here's also another thing, which was very interesting to me, because this also happens to me very often. I don't know if anyone else gets, my vestibular system is so messed up. It's so messed up. That I get dizzy and sick, like nauseous in the line, like waiting in line. And so that queue, there were so many lights and I was so disoriented. And then there's like 3 pre-shows or something, whatever. I don't know. There was like so much going on. And I remember saying to my mom, like I was like holding on to my mom because I like didn't want to fall over or anything. And I was like, I already feel sick. Like I felt sick before I got on the ride. So I also want to throw in that caveat too, that I was experiencing nausea before I got on the ride because of the overstimulation of the queue, like other things that were going on. That obviously doesn't happen to a lot of people. It happens to me though. I get very, like I'll lose my balance in line. Like I'll like fall over and like, it's not super fun. But when you're waiting, I don't know, we probably waited like 45 minutes or something. Like I was definitely feeling it, while I was in line. So another caveat, like I was already feeling kind of nauseous before I, went in the first time, the second time too. Sounds like, no, so that's actually a really good point, Karen. I definitely know the difference between me feeling anxiety and me having like being symptomatic for other things. And I don't often, like when I do have anxiety, I don't often feel nauseous or get dizzy. I definitely have like other symptoms. So it's pretty easy for me to figure out. I was like kind of nervous to go on the ride, sure. Yeah, the DAS pass is definitely another conversation. I feel like we're talking about a lot of stuff. um, so yeah, I don't think I was nauseous. It's like literally. So for anyone else that has migraines or that has any issues with their vestibular system when you're overstimulated, at least when I am, it definitely triggers my migraines, and I often feel nausea with my migraines or in the aura phase. If you guys are knowledgeable about the stages of migraine, it typically starts off with like prodrome and then aura. So like that's just a symptom of my migraines, and my I get like pretty bad vertigo too. So it was definitely a lot of like lights, screens, overstimulation. So once again, like another just little caveat to if you experience that as well. Yeah, so another big thing that happened on my trip was going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I'd be happy to like answer any other questions about Guardians of the Galaxy too, if you guys have any other questions. But hi, Tina, welcome. Tina, did you get my email? I hope it went through. Anyway, I also went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. That was pretty much the entire reason I wanted to go on my trip. I love being at Disney, but Halloween at Disney is my absolute favorite thing. It's like my happy place. So I was so excited to go. And I had been planning my costume. Oh, no worries, Tina. Thanks. Just let me know, because I sent it like a couple hours ago. Hopefully it went through. No, migraines are not fun. Question. Hold on. This is a really great question. I would love to answer it. Why is your mom so much cooler than you? Honestly, like, I really don't know how she got to be so cool. Oh man. Okay, Tina, it was saying that the file was too big, so I'll have to figure out what to do. This is such a great question though, because my mom is super cool. She's way cooler than me, and my dad is also super cool. So anyway, that's a good question, Jeff. I really appreciate it. My parents are really cool, way cooler than me. So if you ever meet them, just still be my friend, please. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Oh yeah, I could definitely send it on Instagram. I could send a link to upload. Jeff, where do you think Meg gets her cool points from? Myself? I don't know. My parents don't like any of the same things as me. Well, I take that back. They like some of the same things, but my parents are way cooler than me. But I digress. I was super excited to make my costume. I made my costume for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I was Oogie Boogie. You guys can probably see sort of a picture on the thumbnail, but if you haven't seen the costume, it's on my Instagram as well. I was very proud of it. It took me like 5 hours to make. So I was just hoping that it would stay together in the Florida heat. And that I wouldn't like absolutely destroy it while I was there at the party. So I was Oogie Boogie. I knew that there were a couple things that I specifically wanted to do at the Halloween party. I wanted to see the parade, the fireworks. I wanted to see the stage show, the Hocus Pocus stage show. And then, of course, my favorite part of the party is meeting characters. You get to meet very special characters at the Halloween party, and you could only pick and choose so many of them because you only have so much time at the party. So we got there right at 4:00. Mrs. Oogie Boogie was awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I was pretty proud of my costume. If you guys also saw my Instagram, I dressed up as Sally for actual Halloween. And so it was cool to do both of the Oogie Boogie and Sally. People are always like, I don't understand why you don't just do Sally, because you don't have to wear a wig. But I was like, I didn't wear a wig for this one. So I was really proud of my hat, to be specific. I worked pretty hard on my hat and everything I made, which was cool. So we got there right at 4, or like maybe a little bit before 4, right before they were starting to let people in. If you guys don't know, there are your tickets for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party Specifically, we'll get you in. Thanks, Tim. We'll get you in at 7:00, but you can get in as early as 4:00. So that's something to know if you guys are, taking a break for the day. If you are not doing a park day that day, you can get in as early as 4:00. And so we were trying to get in as early as possible so that way we could try and meet Jack and Sally. It's always important to me to try and meet Jack and Sally, especially if they have a shorter line, which it's never really short. But by the time we got in, it was like 4:10, and the line for Jack and Sally was already 120 minutes. And so I was like, okay, I guess we're not going to meet Jack and Sally. Because I remember I was supposed to go with Nate, and then he ended up having to do a Give Kids the World auction. So I remember I was texting with him, and he was like, get in line immediately, like right when you get in. And I was like, okay, I'll see what it's like. Because he was like, he knew that I was going to be Oogie Boogie. He knew what I looked like, and so I was very excited. Hey, Amy, welcome. And so he said, you got to meet Jack and Sally. I was like, yeah, I want to. And so we checked. It was 120 minutes. I was like, I can't wait 2 hours for these guys. What? And so we just like left. And I was like, I don't really know what you want to do, Mom. Like, what should we do? And so we just went on the People Mover, and we were just kind of like hanging out. And my mom was dressed as Maleficent, and everyone kept stopping her. And all the little kids were like, hi, Maleficent. She wore like the huge headpiece. She looked fantastic. I obviously I won't show any pictures because my mom likes to have her privacy, but she looked amazing. She was super cool. And then she also wore it to another Halloween party, which was funny. But anyway, people were just like commenting on our costumes, which is really, really nice because, when you work really hard on something, it's nice when people acknowledge it. And so we were just riding the People Mover and kind of walking around. And then we stopped to eat dinner because we didn't know what I was like. What else is happening? The only thing that's really party driven at that time was Jack and Sally. So it was also really hot and our costumes were hot. And so I was like, let's just like go inside and eat dinner. So we ate dinner. And then by the time we got out, like we started seeing this line forming. We ate over at Tomorrowland Terrace. And so like we saw kind of near Fantasyland that this line started forming. And so I was like, hey, I think that might be for Winnie the Pooh and Friends. And so it was like, I don't know, maybe 5 of 6, something like that, like 6:00, around 6:00. And so I was like, hey, do you want to meet Winnie the Pooh and Friends? And my mom was like, sure, like we have nothing else to do. And the lady in front of us was like, I think they're supposed to come out around 6:30. And so I was like, oh, cool, sweet. Like that's a half hour before the party starts. And so we ended up waiting. I don't know. We ended up waiting. Like they came out at 6:30, and then Tigger was having a hard time. Not really sure what was going on with Tigger, but Tigger kept having to leave, and then it would come back and then would leave. And so I kept thinking like, please don't make me wait an hour and 15 minutes to only meet 3 of the characters, whatever. It would have been fine. Like I'm an adult. Like I can be okay with that. But there were a lot of little kids that were dressed up like Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and Friends. So that would have been really a bummer. But I think we ended up waiting a little over an hour. Definitely over an hour. We waited about an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and 20 minutes to meet Winnie the Pooh and Friends. There were 4 of them. They're super cute. But we are also like, I have an annual pass, so I can ride any of the rides anytime I want. Like, I don't care as much about the wait times. I wanted to meet the special characters. So that was worth it to me to meet Winnie the Pooh and Friends with like 10 or 15 minutes into the party time, which was fine. And so when we got there, the family in front of us, like this little boy started to like hysterically cry, and I felt so bad. And so they were like, please go in front of us. Like, please take your picture with them. Because like we want our kid to be happy in the picture, obviously. And so we were like, oh yeah, like whatever works for you guys. So we met Winnie the Pooh and Friends, and then like literally Tigger was like, I gotta bounce. And I was like, oh, no. So like we were the last family, my mom and I, to like see Tigger in that like group of time that they were out, they were changing, like they were leaving and coming back like every 10 or 15 minutes, it felt like. That's really awesome, Jillian. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh is one of my favorite characters. I love Winnie the Pooh. I actually have one of those weighted plushies, the Winnie the Pooh one, and it's really awesome. And so we got to meet all 4 of them. So after that, I was like, let's see what else is going on. Sorry. Let's see what else is going on in the party. We did a couple of like trick-or-treating stops. For anyone that has allergies, they were super awesome this year. They gave me a regular bag and then they gave me an allergy bag. I can't eat any dairy, so like that takes out a good chunk of the candy that they like give out. So I was still collecting like regular candy, and then they were also giving me allergy tokens, which are the little blue tokens. You get a little blue bag. And that was really awesome because I was collecting like double the candy almost. Because at the end of the night, you go to that little, like, it's not an office, but it's like right next to the Hall of Presidents, in between the Hall of Presidents and Sleepy Hollow. And whatever it is, it's like an annual pass holder like place. Whatever it is. I only had 3 allergy tokens, and I was like, hey, like, I'm really sorry I didn't collect a lot of allergy tokens. He's like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm just going to fill your entire bag anyway. And I was like, ooh, nice. And so they gave me a whole ton of, he was like, well, what's your allergy? I told him, and then he was like, you can have everything but there was some caramel thing. And so he was like, which ones do you want? I'm like, I literally will have any of them. I love candy. I love dessert. Like, I love sugar. I am a child. So he just like literally gave me everything besides that one thing I couldn't have. And he filled my entire bag up, which was super awesome. So we had done like a couple different candy stops, and then what kind of candy do they give out? They give out a lot of different chocolate. They give out like M&Ms. They give out Snickers and like regular Halloween candy that you would get at any store. I don't think any of it's like Mickey Mouse themed. They had a lot of, is it Enjoy Life? Is that the brand, the blue like label brand that does all the allergy friendly ones? Hey, Avery, welcome. Yes, my kitchen. Yeah, they were very, very generous at the end of the night. Yeah, the cast members like just stop by any of them after like 10:30, and they'll just like fill up your entire bag. I also got like a reusable bag too this year, which was interesting. I was really happy for that. But then after we met Winnie the Pooh and friends, we were like, let's go see the show. In October, they had one extra showing versus September for some reason. I'm not really sure why. It's the good stuff. Yeah, it's the good stuff. Yeah, my mom loved the candy. She still has a whole bunch of it. So, yeah, so we ended up seeing the show. I love that show. Obviously, the villains are some of my favorite characters. I was dressed as Oogie Boogie, so that was even cooler. And then we were potentially trying to figure out, like, how to get a spot for the show and then also stay for the parade. But it was so crowded at around like Main Street, the hub. I was like, I gotta get out of here. If anyone else has like crowd anxiety like me, I was like, oh my God, like I'm suffocating. There were so many people there, like in that one area. And I just said to my mom, I was like, I have to go. Like, I need to get out of this. There were a lot of people there, and everyone was like on me, and I was like, no, like, don't touch me. So if anyone else is like that, I'm like, please give me my personal space. I really liked having the 6 feet apart because then people weren't like on me, but they obviously took that away. You like Kit Kats, Reese's Cups, and Milky Ways. Awesome. And gummy bears. Sweet. They had some pretty good candy this year, I thought. But I digress. We ended up like trying to find a spot all through Liberty Square, like all through Frontierland. And then finally, like the parade was like gonna start in 5 minutes or something, maybe like 10 minutes. And I was like, let's just go over, like, we'll just stand somewhere. And then this like really nice family, we were just like kind of walking around and there was like one spot open for one person. My mom was like, just go over there, just ask if anyone's standing there. And I asked this family, they had like a bunch of little kids. They were so sweet. I was like, hey, is anyone standing here? I don't want to obviously take any spot that you might have saved. And they're like, no, like you're totally fine. Come stand here. And my mom kind of stood maybe like 10 or 15 feet away from me. Like we didn't have to watch it together. And so there was this little girl that was talking to me for the whole entire parade. It was their first time seeing WDW, and they were just like the sweetest kids, and they were dressed up like some of the characters from the parade itself. And so all the characters were like coming over and saying hi to them. It was so sweet. So I really I had such a good experience. Like this family was so nice. We were chatting for like 15 minutes after. And so they were just so sweet. I was very excited to meet them, and the little kids were very sweet. And I gave them some other tips for the party, and they were really nice. So after the parade, obviously I love WDW. I think it's the best Disney parade. It's always been one of my favorites, and I love seeing it. We actually ended up seeing it twice. But then we went to Pirates. There were a couple things that I wanted to do very specific to the party. They have live actors, like cast members in the Pirates ride. So obviously I love Pirates. It's one of my favorite rides, and I wanted to ride it. There was like 2 other people in our boat, so that was pretty cool. And we saw all the live actors in there. And then I'm trying to think of what else we did after that. Maybe we just went directly to try and figure out fireworks. And so for my strategy for fireworks, for at least the Halloween party, because it's important to me and it might not be important to you, but the last 2 times I went to the Halloween party, oh no, Pirates was closed. That is a bummer. But I have always thought it is a good idea to watch the Halloween fireworks from near the train station. And I'll explain why. So I was watching right where the statue is of Roy and Minnie, basically. And it's still a really cool shot from over there. All these people kept standing in front of me though, and that was very frustrating. I was waiting there for probably 10 or 15 minutes, and then at the very last second, all these people came right in front of me, and I was like, okay. Oh, that's nice, Jillian. I was Snow White as well. Snow White is probably my favorite princess. She's really awesome. So that's the only frustrating thing to me about the fireworks, is that people will just sneak in. I would kind of like what I did at the parade, but to be fair, there was an open spot, and I had asked everyone around me. I'm like, do you mind if I come in here? Do you mind? I'm not in anyone's way. If a child needs to come in here, that's fine. But people just step right in front of me. It happens to me at concerts all the time. I'm not the tallest person, and so I always get stuck behind someone that's really tall, and they'll just boop right in front of me, park themselves right in front of me. But anyway, I still enjoyed the fireworks. The fireworks are always good, but they're not my favorite thing about the party. There are other things that I enjoy more. And so the thing that was most important to me was to be very close to the Town Square Theater, because that is where Jack and Sally meet. And so I was checking right around when the fireworks were about to start. And for the entire night, the meeting Jack and Sally was 3 hours long. I was like, I'm absolutely not waiting 3 hours to meet Jack and Sally. And so right before the fireworks, maybe 5 minutes before the fireworks, it went down to 30 minutes. And I was like, there we go. I'm in my spot, right? And so I watched the fireworks right the second that they finished. I went right into the Town Square Theater. I did end up waiting about 45 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. But it was way better than 3 hours, right? So I did meet Jack and Sally. They probably spent 4 or 5 minutes with me, just with me. And I thought that was crazy for the amount of people that were in line. And their interaction was one of the most funny, character interactions I have ever seen. Yeah, the best time to ride or meet characters is during the fireworks. I agree. But specifically them, because then you could still see the fireworks, and then you could just pop right in there. I love the old hag from Snow White. I got to meet her at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and I think in 2015. She was really amazing. But it was funny. I'll like break down. There's a little bit of the interaction on my TikTok. But like before I was leaving, and my mom came in for a picture. My mom was just saying like, you guys must be so excited for Halloween. And then you'll have to start getting ready for Christmas. And Jack was like, oh, no. Like we only do Halloween. We'll have, 364 more days, whatever it was, until next Halloween to rest. And then someone else can help with Christmas. Santa does Christmas. I was like, okay, yeah. And so we were talking about, like, there was music playing in the background and it was, what's this? And somehow we got into talking about the music and he was like, what was that? And I said, oh, the song. And he goes, what song? And then Sally was like, oh, right, Jack, he doesn't have any ears. And I was like, oh, I guess you're right. And then she was like, I like to think that, could you imagine how big his eyes would have been looking at how big his eye sockets were? And I was like, that's a really good point. And then he was like, what are you talking about? Like, he was so thrown off. And then she was like, I don't even know what your feet look like. He goes, what are you talking about? My feet are bones. I'm a skeleton. She goes, I don't know. You could be fleshy in one part. I've never seen your feet. I don't know what your feet look like. And so they were going back and forth talking about their feet, Jack's feet, and his eyes. And it was just such a funny interaction. But that was like, they had spent a couple minutes with me before that. And then we took pictures and then they started this whole like conversation about Jack having fleshy feet. I don't know. Yeah, the Town Square Theater, they typically meet in there now. They used to meet over in Liberty Square with that like little gazebo place, but they don't meet there anymore. I got to meet Jack and Sally in Disneyland. Oh yeah, I got to meet Jack and Sally, or I got to meet Santa Claus, Jack and Sally in Disneyland when I went a couple years ago. It was amazing. Verna, thank you so much for being here. I'm actually going to close out my stream pretty soon because I didn't realize what time it was. I really appreciate it, though. You are the best. Yeah, so if you guys have any questions about the Halloween party, I'm happy to answer them. My feet are also bones. It was just such a funny interaction between the two of them. They were just having such a good time bantering back and forth, and I loved it. And obviously Jack and Sally are some of my favorite characters. That was really important to me. Also dressed as Oogie Boogie. Like I said, if you want to see some of the interaction, that's on my TikTok. I posted it on Halloween. They're very cool. They're really awesome. But after that, my mom was like, I really, really want to see the Haunted Mansion. Like we hadn't been, we rode the Haunted Mansion earlier in our costumes, but we hadn't seen any of the ghosts out or the butler or anything like that. And they're not in the front anymore. They're in like the actual queue. And so we ran over there and we ended up we talked to the ghost over there, Madame Carlotta, and she was awesome. And then at that point, it was like almost time for the second parade. I was like, let's try and get out of here. But then we got stuck behind the second parade. And then we were just like trying slowly to get out of the park, like being caught behind the parade. And then we kept seeing the same part over and over and over again with the part with Vanellope. And so that was kind of funny that we ended up getting stuck behind the parade. But we had a really, really awesome time. I love the Halloween party. So one day of my trip is actually one of Nate's videos. So you guys can catch to see like what we did some of that day. I convinced Nate to get a lightsaber. And then we did some of the Star Wars. It was a very Star Wars day. We went to Oga's. I was an honorary part of the parade. I was. Have a great night, Nick. Thanks for being here. I liked it better when they were out in the front of the mansion too. Honestly, I thought it was a little bit better. But yeah, if you want to see some of that day, that's going to be in Nate's video. I'm trying to think of what else. There was some other really fun stuff that we did. But yes, we did Potato Land. I don't know why we think that's so funny. I think that is like the most hilarious thing. And my mom, last year when we did it, we did everything in almost one take. And this time we had to do so many more takes because I was just like not on top of it. But we did it all in that one room, basically. If you guys don't know what Potato Land is, you got to watch the video because it's so funny. We did it last year too. So there's 2 videos of us doing Potato Land, but potato land. But anyway, go check that out. It's very funny. At least I think it is. Yeah, it's clearly the best part of Walt Disney World, like in general, any Disney park. But before we go, I know Tim reminded me, magical moment time. Thank you so much. This week, because this person is really awesome and I'm just very excited for their birthday. Joy, you are such an important part of this community. I'm so glad I get to call you a friend. I'm very honored to get to call you a friend and get to know your entire family. You guys are absolutely magical. And I hope you have the best birthday ever. Please go check out their stream on Wednesday. Joy and Justin stream on Joy S on her channel every Wednesday at 8 o'clock Eastern time. So go check that out. I know Tina's also streaming, I think at 5 on Wednesdays. So go check out Tina's stream. Peyton's amazing too. I know your whole family. You guys are the best. Yeah, and Joy has been streaming. Are you streaming tonight too? No, Friday at 8 this week. Oh, Friday at 8. Okay. Wait, I thought you said Wednesday. Friday at 8. Go check out Tina's stream too. Apparently I can't keep up with schedules. This has been an insane couple of days. I feel like I never had a break this whole week. But thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Happy birthday, Joy. And thank you guys all for my birthday wishes. Joy's stream is Wednesday at 8. Okay, so check out Joy's stream. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Bye.